You wake up today, and your body is already sending messages before you speak. Your clothes, your hair, your face, even your shoes say something. Maybe you choose a black shirt because it feels safe. Maybe you fix your hair because someone might notice. Maybe you check a mirror twice. Now remove the mirror. Remove the bathroom light, the phone camera, the clothing store, the makeup bag, the brand logo, and the profile picture. You are standing beside a prehistoric fire. The night is cold. Your group is watching, and the only canvas left is your own skin. In your hand is a piece of red earth. It stains your fingers instantly, like the ground itself has turned into a signal. You touch it to your face. A red mark appears. Suddenly, you do not look exactly like you did a moment ago. But why would ancient humans do this? Why paint a body that would soon sweat, scratch, sleep, and walk through dust again? The easy answer is beauty. But in prehistory, beauty was rarely just beauty. A visible mark could mean belonging, danger, courage, age, memory, or warning. Before written words, before flags, before uniforms, before wedding rings and sports jerseys, the human body may have become a living message. That message did not need paper. It did not need a screen. It only needed color, skin, eyes, and a group that understood. Imagine a stranger walking near your camp at dusk. Before anyone speaks, you notice the marks on their face and chest. Are they from your group? Are they grieving? Are they hunting? Are they dangerous? Are they allowed to come closer? That is the strange power of body paint. It turns the body into something other people can read from across the firelight. But to understand why this mattered, we have to go deeper than fashion. We have to begin with a simple piece of colored stone. Because long before humans built cities, they were already picking up color from the earth and asking what it could do. Ochre is not magic. It is earth rich in iron minerals, often red, yellow, or brown, and it can leave strong color when rubbed or ground. To a modern person, that sounds like art supplies. To an ancient human, it may have looked like a rare substance with unusual power. It could stain stone. It could stain hide. It could stain fingers. And if mixed carefully, it could become thicker, smoother, and easier to spread. Archaeologists have found evidence that early humans used pigments far back in prehistory, but the exact meaning is not always easy to prove. A lump of ochre cannot speak. It cannot tell us whether it marked a face, colored a hide, helped with glue, protected skin, or carried ritual meaning. That is why we must be careful. The evidence says humans used color. The reason behind every use is harder to see. Still, the pattern is fascinating. Across very ancient sites, humans kept collecting, grinding, carrying, and sometimes storing colored minerals. That means color was not always an accident. It was chosen. It was worked. It was brought into human life on purpose. Think about how strange that is. A hunter-gatherer group already had enough to worry about. Hunger, cold, predators, injury, lost children, and changing weather. Yet someone still took time to pick up red earth, grind it, mix it, and keep it. That tells us color mattered somehow. Not every piece of ochre means face paint, but every carefully used piece opens the same question. Why did color become worth effort? In one famous South African cave, archaeologists found signs of people processing an ochre-rich mixture around 100,000 years ago. The mixture was stored in shells, with tools around it. It was not a random smear on the ground. It looked like preparation. Preparation means planning. Planning means the color had a future use, maybe practical, maybe social, maybe both at once. And that is where the story becomes more human. Because humans rarely separate useful things from meaningful things for very long. Today, when we see face paint, makeup, tattoos, or team colors, we often think of style first. But style can hide survival underneath. In prehistory, a mark on the body may have had many possible roles. Some were practical, some were social, some may have been spiritual. Pigments could have been used on skin, objects, hides, tools, or surfaces. The same material might serve different purposes in different moments. Maybe a red mixture helped protect skin from sun or insects. Maybe it colored a hide. Maybe it marked a tool. Maybe it meant identity. The important thing is not to force one answer. Ancient humans were not simple. Their lives were layered, like ours. A modern uniform can protect the body, show a job, create authority, and make someone feel part of a group all at once. A wedding ring is metal, but it is also a promise. A sports jersey is cloth, but it can turn strangers into allies. Body paint may have worked in a similar layered way. It could be material, signal, emotion, and memory at the same time. Imagine a young hunter before a dangerous trip. The group gathers. Someone marks his chest with red lines beside the fire. Maybe the lines calm him. Maybe they show others he is ready. Maybe they remind him of people who hunted before him. Or imagine a child watching adults paint their faces before a ceremony. The color tells the child, this moment is different from ordinary life. That is what symbols do. They take a normal body and place it inside a bigger story shared by the group. A painted face is still a face. But under firelight, surrounded by watching eyes, it becomes more than skin. It becomes a sign. And signs matter most when people must cooperate, remember, trust, and survive together. So the question changes. Not, were ancient humans trying to look good, but what did they need others to see? Before writing, the body was one of the most powerful surfaces humans had. It moved, breathed, stood near the fire, and faced other people. A mark on a rock stays in one place. A mark on a body travels with the person who carries it. That makes body paint different from cave art. It is not only something you look at, it walks into the group and changes interaction. A painted body can say, I belong here. I am not a stranger. I am old enough now. I am grieving. I am dangerous today. We cannot know every ancient meaning, but we can understand the social logic. Humans are extremely good at reading visible signs. We read faces in a fraction of a second. We notice clothing, posture, scars, ornaments, and color before we know we are doing it. In a small prehistoric group, that ability could matter deeply. You needed to know who was trusted, who was angry, who was injured, who needed help. Body paint may have made invisible things visible. Emotion, role, rank, age, group identity, or ritual state could be placed onto skin. Think of a group preparing to move camp. Some carry tools, some carry children, some scout ahead, some guard the fire. A painted mark could help organize attention. It could show who had a task, who had returned, or who was part of a moment. Even if the mark lasted only a day, that might be enough. Not every message needs to last forever. Some messages are powerful because they disappear. A mark for a hunt, a dance, a birth, a loss, or a night of fear. Modern humans still do this. We dress differently for weddings, funerals, games, jobs, dates, protests, and first days of school. The body becomes a calendar. It tells other people what kind of moment they are entering with us. Long before calendars, color on skin may have helped ancient humans separate ordinary time from dangerous, sacred, or unforgettable time. Now picture the scene at night. Not a museum, not a clean display case, a real camp, with wind pushing smoke across the ground. Children sit close to adults. Someone feeds the fire. Beyond the light, trees and rocks become shapes that could be nothing, or something watching. A painted face appears in the firelight. Red lines glow brighter, then vanish as the person turns away. This is where body paint becomes emotional. Under daylight, it might look like color. At night, it becomes presence. A face can become more intense, more memorable, even more frightening. And in a world with real predators, emotion had survival value. A group that can create shared fear can also create shared courage. A group that can mark danger can prepare minds before danger arrives. Maybe painted bodies were used before hunts, maybe before rituals, maybe before meetings with other groups. Each idea needs caution, but each is possible. What matters is that human groups needed more than food. They needed mood, attention, trust, and shared meaning. A painted face could focus everyone. It could say, "This is not a normal evening. Watch closely. Remember what happens now."
That is one reason symbols are so powerful.
They compress a whole story into something the eye can understand instantly. A red handprint, a black line, a white stripe, a necklace, a scar, a feather, a pattern around the eyes. Each could become a shortcut in the mind. When people see it again, the old feeling returns before words arrive. In prehistory, where survival depended on memory, shortcuts mattered. Remember the safe path. Remember the dangerous animal. Remember who helped you. Body paint may have turned memory into something visible, something the whole group could feel together. And when a group feels together, it can move together, hunt together, mourn together, and survive pressure that one person could not bear alone. Now remove modern status. No money, no cars, no watches, no designer shoes, no follow account, no expensive jacket, no blue checkmark. What is left? Skill, courage, generosity, memory, age, family, alliances, tools, ornaments, and what others believe about you. Status did not begin with luxury brands. It began with social attention. Who can hunt? Who shares food? Who knows the landscape? A person who survived winter, found water, healed others, told important stories, or made useful tools could become respected. But respect must be seen. In a small group, reputation lives in memory, but visible signs can help hold that memory in place. This is where body decoration becomes interesting. Paint, beads, shells, feathers, scars, hairstyles, and clothing can become signals of social identity. Again, we must be careful. Archaeology can show objects and pigments. The exact social rules behind them are often debated. But the human logic is familiar. We still use appearance to signal belonging, achievement, taste, loyalty, and sometimes power. A graduation robe is cloth, but it says achievement. A military uniform is cloth, but it says role and risk. A team color can make thousands of strangers shout together. A logo can make a bag cost more than the material itself. The ancient version may have been simpler, but not necessarily less meaningful. A red mark could carry a story no outsider understood. Maybe it showed a person's group. Maybe it marked a life stage. Maybe it remembered a dead relative. Maybe it warned strangers to stay away. We do not need to call ancient people vain to understand this. They were social, and social animals need signals. A signal can protect you. It can attract help. It can show loyalty. It can reduce confusion before conflict begins. So body paint may have been one early answer to an old human problem. How do I show others who I am before I speak? This is where the story stops feeling ancient. Because even now, humans still paint, cover, frame, filter, dress, and redesign the body. We use makeup for beauty, but also confidence. We use tattoos for memory, grief, belonging, rebellion, love, and identity. We use uniforms to become part of something larger. We use fashion to stand out, then follow trends, so we do not stand out too much. We say, don't judge by appearance, while spending enormous energy choosing appearances that say exactly how we want to be judged. That contradiction is not modern weakness. It is ancient social intelligence living inside a world of mirrors and screens. Your brain knows that other people read you quickly. It knows a face, a color, or a symbol can change how you are treated. A profile picture is not so different from a painted face near a fire. Both ask the same question: how should others see me? A sports fan painting their cheeks is not thinking about archaeology, but their body becomes a flag for a temporary tribe. A teenager changing hair color is not living in a cave, but the signal is familiar. I am changing. Notice me differently. A worker putting on a uniform may feel ordinary, but the body has been moved into a role that others instantly recognize. Ancient body paint reminds us that identity was never only inside the mind. Humans have always pushed identity outward, onto skin, onto clothing, onto tools, onto homes, onto digital screens, onto anything that can carry a message.
The difference is speed.
Today, we can change a profile in seconds. Ancient humans had earth, hands, firelight, and patience.
But the need underneath may be the same.
To be seen correctly, to belong somewhere, and to become memorable in the eyes of others.
Maybe that is why a streak of red earth
Still feels powerful. It is not just color. It is the beginning of a social self. So did ancient humans paint their bodies? The most honest answer is they used pigments very early, and body painting is one strong possibility.
But the deeper answer
Is bigger than one behavior. Humans discovered that color could change how a body was understood.
a plain face
Could become a marked face. A marked face could become a role. A role could become a story the group remembered.
Before books, people had bodies.
Before usernames, they had faces. Before brands, they had marks, ornaments, skills, and reputation.
And before anyone could write,
This is who I am. They may have shown it with color in front of people who mattered.
the red earth
Did not need grammar. It did not need a sentence. It only needed a shared human mind, ready to read meaning.
that is what makes body paint.
So haunting. It sits between survival and imagination, between dirt and identity, between skin and story.
It may have protected,
Decorated, warned, united, remembered, or transformed. In many cases, we may never know which meaning came first.
but perhaps
That is exactly the point. Human symbols are powerful because they can hold more than one meaning at once.
a painted face
Can be beautiful and frightening, personal and tribal, practical and sacred, temporary and unforgettable.
Now imagine the fire burning lower.
A child watches an adult wipe red pigment across their cheek, slowly, carefully, with quiet focus.
The child does not need a lecture.
The group grows silent. The color itself says something important is happening.
Thousands of generations later,
We still understand that feeling. We still change our faces before entering important moments.
maybe the first profile picture was not on a screen.
Maybe it was a human face, glowing red in firelight, waiting to be recognized.
And maybe every time we dress up,
Paint, filter, or decorate ourselves, we are still standing beside that ancient fire, asking to be seen.